Hello students, this is Wilson. I'm a new biology faculty. Welcome to Physics Backbenchers YouTube channel. This is my third video lecture from Living World chapter. In today we are going to study binomial nomenclature. So let us see what is meant by binomial nomenclature and what are the rules and regulations are present and who proposed this binomial nomenclature, etc. In last class, we discussed the identification of organisms and the naming of organisms, the way how the organisms can be classified and what the need of classification, etc. So in this class, we are studying binomial nomenclature. So before we are going to study, let us see nomenclature means what. You know that nomenclature means what? Nomenclature means naming of organisms. These names should be in a proper way. That means the name should be given in a scientific manner. The names should be given in a scientific manner. So let us see, as per NCERT, what is meant by nomenclature. An organism should be known by same name all over the world. It is called nomenclature. So these nomenclature should be in a scientific manner, and these names can be given to the plants and animals. Okay. Now let us see. In the nomenclature, we are studying binomial nomenclature. Who proposed this binomial nomenclature? Binomial nomenclature was proposed by Carolus Linnaeus. So in the given picture, whatever you are observing, he is Carolus Linnaeus, and he proposed this binomial nomenclature. What is mean by binomial nomenclature? Binomial nomenclature means an organism which is named by named with two components. Once again, listen here. An organism is named with two components. That is, one is generic name, and second one is a specific epithet name. Epithet name. So this is called binomial nomenclature. So once again, listen here. Already you know what is meant by nomenclature. Nomenclature means naming to the organism. It may be plants or animals. This must be in a scientific manner. And binomial nomenclature was proposed by Carolus Linnaeus. And according to him, an organism which is named with two components. One is generic name, and second one is a specific epithet name. So now let us see what is the major difference between generic name and specific epithet name. So generic name means what? Generic name means a group of related species. A group of related species is called genera. Means related species can be included in this genera. So it shares with a close related organism or species. Okay, that species can be included in this genera. Next one means what? Specific epithet or species. Specific epithet means what? Specific epithet means a group of individual organisms. A group of individual organisms which are capable of interbreed among themselves. It is called species. Okay, a group of individual organisms which are capable of interbreeding among themselves. It is called. So that is the reason you need to have an idea the difference between what is meant by generic name and what is meant by specific epithet name. So a group of related species can be included in this genera or generic genus. And let us see. And according to this one, that means if you want to give any name for plants or animals, so there are certain rules are framed. So where these rules are framed, the rules are stated in International Code of Nomenclature. So according to this International Code of Nomenclature, certain rules are framed to give the name. for the plants or animals. Let us see what are the rules are there. Generally, if you wanna give any name for plants or animals, and these names must be in Latin, and they have to write in italics. Okay, once again listen here. So the scientific name should be taken from Latin, and they should be written in italics. Now the question can be arising here: why these names are taken from Latin? Okay, then answer is this Latin language is not in use. This language is not in use, or you can say dead language. That is the reason these scientific names are generally taken from Latin and written in italics. Suppose in examination point of view, they will frame you questions that the scientific names are generally taken from option A, Latin, option B, English, option C, Hindi, and option D, Greek, etc. So sometimes you may get confusion that Greek, but these names are generally taken from Latin. Okay, next one. Already we discussed that. So that any organism can be named with a generic name and a specific epithet name. So generic name that genera should start with. Suppose this is a genera. It starts with this genera can be starts with capital letter. And what about this specific epithet? Specific epithet should start with a small letter. Always should start with a small letter. So that is a major difference. First difference what we have discussed. What is the first rule? Scientific names are generally taken in from Latin and written in italics. And generic name should start with a capital letter, and specific epithet name should start with a small letter. And if it is handwritten, the name should be underlined. Italics means what? Italics generally available in a printed format. Italics generally available in printed format. So where we have taken the example is Homo sapiens. So let us see how we are going to study these Homo sapiens as for this one. All I told you, generic name should start with capital letter, and the specific epithet name should start with a small letter. So let us see how we are going to start here. We are taking example here, Homo sapiens. You know that Homo means it is a generic name, and sapiens means it is a specific epithet name. So when you look at these one generic name, which is always start with a capital letter, and this sapiens, which is starting with a small letter. Okay, so it's very important. And next one is suppose this scientist has given names. It is also one of the most important. The scientist name should be mentioned after the completion of this one. Suppose we are taking here example of name of the author appears specific epithet. So that name should be in a alphabetical manner. So we are taking here example Mangifera indica. Mangifera indica. So who discovered this Mangifera indica? Mangifera indica, this name was given by the scientist Linnaeus. That is the reason you are writing Lin. So it is the most important. Why? Because this name first described by the Linnaeus scientist. Okay, it must be written in abbreviated form. It is the most important one. Okay, I hope that you are understanding. So once again, just I'm repeating for you what we studied and what we discussed just now. We discussed what is meant by binomial nomenclature, and first of all, nomenclature means what, and also who proposed binomial nomenclature. Binomial nomenclature was proposed by Carolus Linnaeus, And according to him, an organism should be called with two components. One is generic name and specific epithet name. You know the difference between generic name means what and specific epithet name means what. And also the certain rules are framed international code of nomenclature. First rule is these names are taken in Latin and written in italics. And next one is generic name should start with a capital letter and specific epithet name should start with a small letter. And also one more question we discussed why we have taken from the Latin. Why? Because this language is not in use and that too it is a dead language. And next one is and if it is handwritten means the names must be underlined. So whenever any scientist proposed or called any name, that name should be abbreviated after completion of specific epithet. So now let us see. Now we are going to study the rules and regulations of ICBN and ICZN. So what is mean by ICBN and ICZN? ICBN means International Code of Botanical. So ICBN means International Code of Botanical Nomenclature. That means there are certain rules are framed to give the names to the plants. And ICZN means what? ICZN means International Code of Geological Nomenclature. Okay. Now let us see the difference between ICBN and ICZN. According to ICBN, tattoo are not valid. According to ICBN, it's very important. Tattoo names are not valid. Not valid. That means what? What is number that? That means generic name and specific epithet name should not be same. So, according to ICBM, tattoo names are not valid. That means what? Generic name and specific epithet name should not be valid. Suppose we'll take the example right now. Solanum tuberosum. Where generic name is different and specific epithet name is different. And Solanum tuberosum means what? It is a scientific name of potato. And one more example we'll take here, Solanum melangina. It is a scientific name for brinjal, where generic name is different and specific epithet name is different. Okay, and if you go for the Solanum lycopestum, tomato, generic name is different and specific epithet name is different. But according to ICZN, tattoo names are valid. Tattoo names are valid. That means generic name and specific epithet name are maybe same. Let us see the examples. We'll take here examples. We're taking here example. NASA. So it is an example for what you call here program. And what is going to happen here, where generic name is same and specific epithet name is same. So one more example we are going to study here, that is Rattus. So where also generic name is same and specific epithet name is same. So it is an example for rats, and it is an example for Indian cobra. So according to ICZN, patronyms are valid, but according to ICBN, patronyms are not valid. So in examination point of view, they will ask you questions. According to ICBN, option A, patronyms are valid. Option B, patronyms are not valid. So need to answer that patronyms are not valid. And one more rule I'm going to frame here. First one is patronyms are not valid according to ICBN, and where patronyms are valid. And third one is length of generic name, and specific epithet name, minimum three minimum 3 letters to, and not less than 12 letters. Means if you take any generic name and if you take any specific epithet name, minimum must be 3 letters and maximum up to 12 letters. So it is the most important one. Suppose we'll take the example here. Solanum is there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That means minimum 3 are there, maximum up to 12. Suppose tuberosum 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So if you take any scientific name, it may be generic name or specific epithet name, the letters must be minimum 3 to up to 12. But where the exception is there, that exception is Riccia. Phaiancoensis. Suppose here in case of generic name, there are only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 are there. But Phaiancoensis means I think let us see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 are there. So this is an exception. So in examination point of view, they will ask you which of the following is exception. Then answer is Riccia Phaiancoensis. Why? Because in the year of 1960-61, this name were given. After that time, the rules were not framed. Okay, that is the reason this ICZN and ICBN rules you need to remember in a proper way. That means for naming of any kind of plant or animal, the rules are framed. So where what is the rules are framed in ICBN and what the rules which are framed in ICBN is very important. Okay. Thank you very much. We'll continue in the next class.